Viagra Honey is the new illegal aphrodisiac that France can't get enough of. A people smuggler is facing jail time after a lady was found in a glove box. And penguin divorce rates soar on Phillip Island. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian inside a closet. My name is Jonesy. It's nice to meet you. I got some weird stories for you. Let's go. Viagra-laced honey has flooded France, and the government issues warnings about it. French customs authorities are raising an alarm about this illegal substance that's been flooding the country in record quantities. It's called erectile honey. This is terrible. Where can I get some? Asking for a friend here. Packaged as convenient sticks or honey shots. This substance contains a mix of honey and Viagra-like medicine and is sold on the black market in France in certain night shops for a few euros. Well, it sounds like France is having hard times. Not really. That's why they need the erectile honey. Bon appetit. Come on, guys. Bon appetit. The article goes on to say that this Viagra honey is sold, quote, for consumption that is intended to be festive, but is above all dangerous. That's according to France's customs agency. They think it's dangerous. How is it dangerous? It's just Viagra and honey. It says here the honey sticks often contain sildenafil or tadalafil. I can't say these erectile dysfunction medications. These are prescribed erectile dysfunction medications, but they cause side effects, they say, when combined with alcohol or other drugs, such as blood pressure medicines. Yeah, but this is honey, so, unless the honey has been sitting around for far too long and then becomes alcoholic, honey can do that. But other than that, it seems totally innocuous to me. And it's a good way to take your erection medicine. Now you can dip your nuggets in some boner juice, put it in your tea, drizzle a little erectile honey on your toast for breakfast. What's up, honey? Now, the article goes on to say that trafficking in brands of so-called love honey has doubled over the past year over there, with a record 31,000 tons that were seized, mainly in seaports in big European cities. The shipments, worth millions of euros, are mainly from Malaysia, Thailand, and Turkey, among other countries, according to the National Customs Service. Despite bans and government warnings about this love honey, young men are joining a craze for consuming packets of the love honey with, quote, all natural ingredients that contain sildenafil or tadalafil. You guys know the active elements in Viagra and Cialis, the prescription drugs for ED. Consumers are ignoring the warnings that have been issued about this love honey. Yeah, does that surprise you? First of all, your warnings are, slightly exaggerated here. There's very little to worry about, I'm sure, taking the erectile honey. There's other drugs that they sell at the gas station that you really got to worry about, that synthetic marijuana, for one. What is that all about? I tried that once when I was young. Man, I don't even know what happened. It wasn't the same effect as marijuana. I don't know what happened. Weird things came over my mind that night. I'll just say that. I'll also say you don't want to smoke some gas station synthetic marijuana and then have to change a tire. It doesn't work out very well. Now, in this particular article, they interviewed a French police officer. Let's see what he has to say. He said, following a trend, a younger public are going for this in a big way, thinking that they can match the performances to be found on the pornographic sites. Aw, that's cute. That's a little presumptuous, considering, some people might be taking this love honey and may be spending the night all by themselves. This sounds like a bit of paranoia, if you ask me. Now, though illegal in France, the love honey, the boner juice, as I call it, sold under brand names such as Black Horse. That's nice. Black Horse. Wow. You guys want to get with somebody who's on the Black Horse chemical? Sounds like a good time. It's also been sold under names such as Jaguar Power. Why do they always got to add an animal to it? I guess they want you to think that you'll be able to perform like an animal. Do you want to perform like a jaguar or a horse? How about rhino? I've seen rhino in the title of some of these medicines. These are available online also with home delivery. They're sold in French cities by all-night convenience stores as well. I mean, of all the things you can buy in a convenience store that's probably going to kill you, it's not this. I mean, it's the copious amounts of booze that are sold. And, I mean, have you seen that food? Yeah, you buy a hot dog from 7-Eleven and see how long you live after you eat that thing. I don't see the FDA cracking down on those egg and sausage breakfast sandwiches that are being sold. Very suspect, those things. Well, that's the end of the article here. I guess there's room for opinions. We're all going to have them, so I don't know how you feel about it. You can call the show 646-450-2012. At the end of the day, though, I think we can all agree that Viagra Honey would make an amazing burlesque dancer name. A person smuggler is facing jail time after officers found a woman in a glove box of a vehicle. Wow, I mean, how big is this glove box? Or how tiny is the lady? Let's read about this people's smuggler. Border Force officers found a Vietnamese woman hidden in a cramped compartment behind the dashboard of a car. Well, Vietnamese women are pretty tiny in general. They can hide in small spaces. Let's find out how big she is. I'm a little curious. What is the world record for smallest woman? Let me Google this. I'm sure we're all interested. Wow, we have here an Indian woman named Jyoti Amja. She's 24 inches tall. Apparently, she's the smallest woman in the world. She's got social media. Wow, a lot of followers. Goodness, she's really killing it. She's making a career out of it. Videos. If you want to watch the shortest woman live her life, you can follow her on Instagram at Jyoti_Amja. Wow. I'm going to have to check that out later. Wild. She's quite cute. 24 inches tall, so that's about 2 feet. I mean, I suppose if she puts her knees up near her chest, she could probably fit into some glove boxes, specifically of like a Dodge Ram truck or something, I'd imagine. Well, the discovery of this Vietnamese woman in a glove box led to an investigation that unveiled a people smuggling network, resulting in the seizure of counterfeit documents, more than 20,000 illicit cigarettes, and $6,000 in cash. 20,000 illicit cigarettes. That's strange. Part of the seizure. What are you into? I smuggle people, and you want to buy some Lucy's? I got some Lucy's. People and Lucy's. This is our business. We had to give up our old business where we were selling black market Jaguars and Colanders. So we're on to the new thing. All right, back to the smugglers here. It was a network that took non-EU nationals through Europe and into the UK. 3 of the gang of smugglers were found guilty of assisting unlawful immigration. They're going to appear in court alongside 5 others for a sentencing. They're naming all of them with their ages. It looks like I'm not going to be able to pronounce any of these names. Akram Jabbar, Joseph Kat. Never mind, it's not really important. What is important is they're putting tiny Vietnamese women in glove boxes to bring them over the border. And they're selling illegal cigarettes on the side as well. Maybe they have a cigarette making business. Maybe they're bringing in these illegals and making them work in their loose cigarette factories, the underground cigarette manufacturing. They could be making erectile honey. I mean, I don't know. The article says a month after the Vietnamese woman was discovered in a car, another one of these smugglers was stopped by border guards who found they were hiding another woman behind the dashboard of the vehicle. There's just so much room in a vehicle, apparently, that's not really being utilized. This is proof right here that the car manufacturers aren't really giving us consumers the full legroom that we deserve. There's at least a Vietnamese lady amount of space in the front of a car, and it's not being utilized. I don't think that's right. I'm thinking maybe class action lawsuit here. Who's with me? And while we're at it, I mean, I think we can all agree that the glove box or the glove compartment, as it's called, is just completely inaccurately named. I mean, never was there anything in there that could ever warm my hands. I've never opened up a glove box and found actual gloves in there. I think we can all agree It needs to go. I think we can, from here on out, maybe we call it the Vietnamese lady box. Could be a solution. Well, the article ends by saying all of the men will be going to trial very shortly in the UK, and they'll be facing some strict penalties, I'm sure. And I'm going to, per usual, sing a song about it. I'm the man in the glove box. Buried in my... Penguin divorce rates are soaring on Phillip Island. We have here a professor named Richard, who's head of ecophysiology and conservation in the School of Biological Sciences. This nerd has been studying penguins on Phillip Island for 20 years, and he says, contrary to popular belief, not all penguins partner up for life. Today we're going to learn about penguins. It's the sound of science. Boop, 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 science. First of all, you guys knew that penguins partnered up for life? There's some birds that do that. They show dedication. They show loyalty. They're very sophisticated animals. According to Professor Rich, he says, in good times, penguins largely stick with their partners, although there's often a bit of hanky-panky happening on the side. A little bit of that love juice, the Viagra Honey. Richard says, however, after a poor reproductive season, the penguins may try to find a new partner for the next season to increase their breeding success. So you can imagine they're trying to breed, and if it's not successful, they'll look for another mate, kind of like the Old English kings used to do. Just like Old England, except for like fewer beheadings. Now, our penguin nerd Richard here has been tracking these penguins across 13 consecutive breeding seasons, notating which individuals changed partners or, quote, divorced from one season to the next. So they actually divorce. I wonder if there's some paperwork involved. Is it as difficult to divorce over there on Phillip Island as it is in the state of California? I wonder. Richard says they looked at nearly 250 penguin divorces from about 1,000 pairs of penguins throughout the study and found that years with a lower divorce rate resulted in higher breeding success. Therefore, the researchers concluded that the divorce rate in the colony is a more reliable predictor of the reproductive success of the colony than environmental factors like habitat change or behavioral traits. So it sounds like it's in the best interest of the penguins to get divorced occasionally if it's not working out. See, guys, even penguins are going through it, the struggle to just make it work with your partner. Maybe we need to get like an app to help them out or something. Call it like Plenty of Penguins. POP. You down with POP? Yeah, you know me. Who's down with POP? Every last penguin. The article says, what does this mean, all this divorce, for the reproductive success of the 37,000-strong penguin colony of Phillip Island? By the way, I probably should have said this up top. Phillip Island is in Australia. It says here, unfortunately, the higher divorce rates will result in lower reproductive success across the colony. No, how could that be? It's going to give them a chance, because they're divorcing the one that they're not having reproductive success with. It would seem to me like the divorce rate should result in higher reproductive success. So confused here. Does science really know what it's doing? I often ask myself this question. Seems like they're wasting resources over there in the science world. For instance, I'll bet they didn't think of this. Maybe the reason why they're having such a hard time reproducing is because the scientists are always monitoring them 24 hours a day. Wouldn't you have a hard time performing if you're trying to mate and then there's some scientists watching your bedroom with binoculars all day and all night? I can't perform when a guy in binoculars is staring at me in my bedroom. I'd imagine the penguins would feel the same way. She thinks she's the passionate one. Hello, my friends. This is your host, your handy-dandy pod daddy, reporting to base. Everything's all right, Captain, out here in the field, in the podcast field. I want to thank you for subscribing if you have. If you haven't subscribed, why not try it? Just try it. Just give it a try. Just give Weird AF News a try. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for much in this world. Just give it a try, okay? I'll give you a free pack of Viagra Honey if you join the Patreon. I'm just kidding. I don't even know where you get that stuff. I'm interested, though. I'm interested. Anybody in France want to send me a box? I'll do a full review. Maybe there's a sponsor in there, huh? It'd be funny if my podcast was sponsored by Black Horse Viagra Honey. Do you want to perform like a black horse? Remember, it's a lot better than the white horse, apparently. Listen, I want to give thanks and praise. I'm trying to keep it together here. I got some gifts. I haven't been home in a few days because I didn't have a car, and I was in a place where it just took me a while to get back home, and then had some shows in Orange County, so I was down there for a few days. When I got back, there was some packages there for me from a couple of listeners. So I just want to give some love to Laura and Bella, who sent me amazing packages. They were basically belated Christmas gifts, but just fantastic gifts were in there. Bella included a couple of koozies, Guinness koozies. Very, very nice, because Guinness is my favorite beer. And on the side of the Guinness koozie, it says Irish foreplay, which is hilarious. Guinness is Irish foreplay. I mean, that's a good joke. It's a good joke right on the koozie. You know, who knew that you could put jokes on koozies? Laura, I mean, there was so many gifts in Laura's package that it's just like, it's hard to even, where do I even begin? An emotional support F-bomb. She painted a rock for me. There's some cool stickers and candy. An actual Christmas stocking was in there, filled with stuff. So I'm very, very grateful, and very funny Christmas cards and whatnot. So I was overwhelmed with just the Christmas love from Laura and Bella. So just wanted to give them a shout out on the show and let them know how much I appreciate that. I really felt all warm and fuzzy inside when I was opening up the gifts, like a child at Christmas all again, you know. When you get older, you just have fewer gifts to unwrap in life, it seems. You know, maybe you get a couple on your birthday that you can unwrap. Maybe you get maybe 3 on Christmas or something that you unwrap when you're older. But for the most part, you know, all that goes away when you enter adulthood. You know, unwrapping like 25 presents on Christmas, you know, that just kind of goes away. I mean, maybe Michael Jackson was still doing that into his 40s and 50s. I don't know. Seems like he would, but, you know, for the rest of us, it kind of goes away. So it felt really cool to open up some Christmas gifts, really tiny ones. Anyways, I'm very grateful and thankful this season. 2025 has been off to a rocky start, but then there's been some flashes of joy in my life, and opening up those gifts from these 2 wonderful listeners of the show and supporters of me was a highlight. So thank you so much. I guess that's it. If you want to support the show, I got a website, weirdafnews.com. That's where you can go and do that. You can buy me a Guinness. It's also known as buying me a coffee. And then if you want to email me, it's funnyjones@gmail.com. Follow me on the gram @funnyjones, and we'll see you tomorrow for another installment of Weird AF News. Ta-ta.